It's been a topsy-turvy year for specialty crop growers here in Michigan. In the spring, growers facing an uncertain market had to decide if they should bother planting. And if they do, can they get adequate labor to harvest the crop? It's a make-or-break question for an industry that relies heavily on seasonal, migrant, and H-2A laborers to help harvest throughout the summer and fall.
As far as our labor supply right now, we have domestics that came in. We also have H-2A workers. The first batch of them came in April, middle of April. We had 60 more arrive this past weekend, and we'll have 60 more arrive, 56 or something like that, arrive next weekend. And those are all H-2A workers. And the last of them will arrive about the 20th of July. And that's when things are really rocking and rolling as far as harvesting and packing and stuff. So we need our full labor force about that time. But when we get all done, we'll have about 220 to 225 people on staff. 160 or 70 of those will be H-2A workers. The rest will be domestic. Some of our local seasonal workers and then some of our full-time people will make up that number.
And then there's the COVID-19 pandemic, which has impacted farms and packaging facilities across the state.
We're lucky enough to have a large enough labor camp where we have a couple of the housing units set aside for anybody who comes up sick, where we can quarantine them there. We've already had some of the COVID-19 here. Some people test positive and we've quarantined them. They were all asymptomatic but one.
The latest wrinkle for growers comes in the form of an executive order that required them to modify on-farm housing to encourage social distancing and further prevent the spread of the coronavirus.
It's very hard for growers to keep up with all the COVID stuff, and especially you have smaller growers that are trying to keep up with all this. You've got to have a COVID plan, a preparedness plan for how you're going to deal with people when they get sick and stuff. MDARD came out with some rules a week and a half ago on a Thursday, and on Tuesday our camp inspection and they came out to check our COVID preparedness plan. We had 4 or 5 days to get it ready. And some of that kind of stuff, it's a little hard to take as a grower. And you know, we want to keep our people safe because we want to be able to stay in production. I want to keep myself safe and my family safe too.